Our next guest, well, he knows a thing or two about Congress, as well as the great fighting men and women of our armed services. He is the son of a World War II veteran, the father of a Navy SEAL, and he himself is a veteran of our very own U.S. Air Force. In fact, he was a captain in the Air Force before he joined Congress. Joining us right now, Texas Congressman Brian Babin. Sir, great to have you on the show.
Always great to be with you, John, especially with Veterans Day coming up.
Yes,
Happy
sir.
to be here.
We are so honored. First, a big thank you for you and your whole family service. Father, son, you, all serving this great country. And now you're doing it in Congress. I know veterans are important to you. It's a shocking number we heard at the top of the show. 38,000 to 50,000 veterans, people who fought for freedom in this country, on the streets without a home. Pretty shocking, isn't it?
Very shocking, very hurtful, and very, very concerning.
Yeah. You are always working to try to find the best opportunity to help our veterans, to support them, to get them in the workforce, to get them a continuing education. This area of homelessness is one that's really bubbling to the front. In Houston, there's going to be this new ribbon cutting today at this new facility that will house 100 veterans just in that great city. Congress, the VA, I know you do a lot of oversight of the VA. Are you satisfied that we have all we need at the VA right now?
No, sir, we are not. I'll tell you, we made a lot of great improvements back during the Trump administration with the ability to be able to fire folks who were incompetent or rude or just weren't up to the job during the Trump's years. And there were some improvements made, but we have a ways to go. And we're always looking for ways to streamline treatment, to help these veterans. I've got close to 50,000 veterans in my district right now. And I'll tell you, there's more veterans serving in Congress now than I've seen in the last 10 years. And it's very, very helpful, I think, to have that perspective of being a veteran. You got a unique connection with each other, a mindset, similar experiences. We signed up to serve and defend our country. We want to help those that did as well, especially since we are in Congress and have the purse strings that control our Veterans Administration.
Yeah, there's nothing like bringing the experience of the battlefield, the battleship, or the fighter jet to Congress. It just makes people more understanding of the needs and the wants and the hopes of that incredible community. Earlier, you also a champion of border security, and you see this extraordinary dialogue right now where Democrats and many liberals want billions of dollars to house illegal aliens who've crossed into this country illegal, but you hardly ever hear them talk about this homelessness and challenges. How important is it to get this homeless issue in front of everybody and get it solved over the next few years?
It is extremely important. We've got to help the homeless situation. It's out of control in the United States today. We've got to start spending a little bit of some funding on psychiatric care. I've gotten so many calls from rural sheriffs and medium-sized city sheriffs and police chiefs asking me to what do we do when we have a homeless veteran that we've got in jail and he needs to be in a hospital. And yet we don't have the beds for them nor the funds to make that happen. And I tell you what, there's nothing better. It's one of the most proud moments when we can honor our veterans in our districts, especially the greatest generation. We don't have that many of them left from World War II. As you said earlier, my father was in the Army in World War II over in the Pacific. And being able to help these elderly folks, helping their families with funeral logistics, getting medals that they may not have had. That's one of my favorite activities, helping these old vets replace or obtain their missing military medals and commendations that they should have gotten, 70 years, 75 years ago.
Wow.
And I'll tell you what, I never miss a beat, supporting veterans' bills to protect their sensitive information, protect them from gun grabs by the hard left, their infringement on their Second Amendment rights, trying to make sure we get their benefits that they're eligible for. We made promises. The federal government made promises to these veterans, and we have to honor those promises. And one of the things you mentioned the homelessness, and you mentioned the border. one of the worst things that I heard, John, I was so disgusted when I heard that, I think it was in New York, it may have been some other place, but it was up there when these illegal aliens were being bussed into these areas, and they literally took homeless veterans out of their shelters, booted them out, and made spaces for illegal aliens to come in. That is totally unacceptable to me, to do that to U.S. citizens who wore the uniform to protect our country and give us our constitutional rights, liberties, and freedoms. And so we can never allow that to happen. I was so disgusted. And quite frankly, we need to make sure we get the money, get the funding. We should defund some of these woke policies and programs of the left radical Democrats that we have, and use those funds to help our veterans.
Sir,
that's the least that we can do.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I think every head in the audience is nodding right now. We got about 30 seconds left. One of your favorite interactions with veterans. You have a favorite moment where you say, even you're a veteran yourself, but you come across somebody and say, well, I'll never forget that moment.
There's a number of them. But I tell you, just a couple of months ago, I had a World War II veteran who was in the 8th Air Force, dropping bombs over the Axis powers in Europe.
Wow.
And I was able to pin medals on him that he should have gotten at that time, talk to his family, talk to his relatives, and all. Fellow happened to be a Jewish fellow. A lot of friends of his from his synagogue were there. We had a really great visit, honoring his service back during World War II, fighting for our freedoms, especially him as a Jewish fellow in fighting against the Germans at that point in time in our history. And it was really a highlight to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Abe Schnitzer. Abe Schnitzer was his name, and a great man from Houston, Texas.
What another American hero. And we would be remiss if we didn't honor all the service that you, your son, and your father gave this country as well. You are the epitome of all that's good in America and in the armed forces. It's an honor to have you.